When I am asked the question, who am I could answer broken, worthless, damaged, abandoned, and not worth anyone's time. Behind these answers, there is a very long explanation, but I will give you the shorter version today. This explanation I'm about to give you, most people don't know. I have been told many times that God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. There are times I do not feel like I am the strongest soldier, but in reality, I am stronger than what I tell myself. Hi, my name is Callie DeBoer, and I'll be giving talk number 1, Who Am I? In Romans 8 verse 18, it says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. This is a verse that relates to the story I'm about to tell. About 2 years ago, I had started my fight against depression, when this guy decided to hurt me by doing something I did not appreciate. When this event happened, there was this person, let's call him Tom, that immediately came into my life, and for some reason, I felt like I could just tell Tom everything. Tom had actually kept me together for the longest time. He made sure I always look at the positive part of life. He actually kept my depression hidden for so long. But like everything, it had to come to an end. Like everything seemed to. I trusted Tom with everything. I told him everything that happened in my life. But he didn't seem to care. He just decided to ignore what I had told him, and he hurt me by saying one thing and doing something completely different, by giving me a promise he could never keep. With that, it sent me swirling down to the worst place I have ever been. It was there I knew I hit rock bottom. I finally noticed my depression, the beginning of my senior year, and it tore me apart. I knew there was something wrong because I was in a constant sad mood, but worst of all, I had always for some reason felt numb. It wasn't till Monday, after this past November tech that I had worked, I officially found out I had my depression. They immediately put me on medication. When I found out about this, I could only tell one friend I really trusted, and I knew he wouldn't tell anyone because I didn't tell anyone about his depression. After I told him I was in a very shocked state, I went back to a time when I was little. I'd said something to my dad that I only remembered when my dad told me about it a year ago. But my parents had gotten into a fight about how my dad had made a mistake. He made a bad mistake by getting caught up with a lady that had manipulated him. He had eventually figured everything out, but not before I had asked my dad, Daddy, why did that bad lady try and take you from us? I realize now I had made a huge impact in my dad's life with one simple question. One question is all it takes to change yours, mine, and anyone's life. So I asked myself a question. It was, are you going to fight or are you going to give up? I couldn't stand to give up. So I said I was going to fight. I don't want to let something like this destroy me, and I promised myself, even if I wanted to give up, I couldn't because my friends depended on me, and I can't give up on them. Since that time, I have fought a lot, but the reason why I'm here is that I believe that I wasn't just made to be here. No, I have a purpose, and so do you. Now I'm going to ask you to place your hand over your heart. Can you feel it? That is called purpose. You are alive for a reason, so don't ever give up. I'm about to show you something. You see, before all this happened, I had to sit right where you were. So in March of 2015, I went through tech. I heard it was really amazing, and so I decided to come not knowing about what was going on or what was going to happen. Just like you, now, today. And well, it changed my life so much. I started to read my Bible a ton. It became a Bible that was in multiple pieces and in 2 halves. At one time, before all this happened, my Bible sat on a bookshelf. If they tell you They tell you not to just leave your Bible to collect dust. Well, mine did. I'm now going to take you to a little flashback to a trip I took the summer before my sophomore year. We went to Niagara Falls, and before we left, we helped this church with a thing they did every month. And I met this boy. He was such a sweet little boy. And he reminded me of how we all used to be. He had asked me at one point when I was talking to him where I was from. I responded with Iowa. He had then asked where that was, and I said, well, a long ways away. He then said, can you stay here with me? And I said, well, I wish, but I have to go home and see my family. You see, before I talked to him, he didn't even allow his brother to wave at us, because we were strangers, and he was protecting his brother. In as little as 2 hours, he opened up and started talking to me and one other person on this trip. It showed me that when he realized we were not here to hurt him, but yet to help. We all need help at times. It is just how it goes. Back to my answers at the beginning of my talk. If you were to ask me who I am today, I would say strong, loved, cherished, and child of God. But don't let that fool you. I am not always going to answer with those same answers. If you had by chance caught me in a time of weakness, I would resort to those words, and maybe more. I will never say I'm done fighting, because no one initially is. Actually, in my daily life, I tend to have a fake smile a lot, because everyone questions everything when you don't seem happy. I have fake smiled so much that I feel like my smile is ugly and that no one wants to see it. About 4 months ago, I had to go back to the doctor because my medicine that I was on was making me very aggravated and making me want to hurt someone over a simple sound of a keyboard tapping, but also because I had thoughts of suicide. So they changed my medication, which had worked a lot better. When I say I'm on medication, don't let that fool you. The feelings are all still there, but my lows aren't as low and my highs aren't as high. Throughout these times, I've always looked at the verse Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, the plans to prosper you and not to harm you, the plans to give you a hope and a future. Whenever I look at this verse, I realize there is a purpose for everything that I had gone through my life. When this happened to me, I had no clue what I was going through, because this is only a glimpse of my story. I have tried to be strong for so long, but I realize that I can't try and be strong all on my own. Because there are days I am being carried through some of the struggles, and even if I think that God has abandoned me, He hasn't. Because He is always there for you and me. Most people think that depression defines me, but in reality, I don't think it has anything to do with defining me. I believe God brought this challenge into my life so I could connect with the people that have it, and they are struggling through it, because if it isn't for God, I wouldn't be able to make it through the bad days. But I have, and I will make it through the bad days, because I know there is something much greater coming my way, whether that includes my enjoyment for writing or not. Now, are you trying to act strong around all the people you are around today, in your life at home? There are times you just need to break down those walls and let everything out, whether it happens to include tears or not. I encourage you greatly to let someone know what is going on in your life, whether it is here or with someone one-on-one. My first song I chose was by For King and Country, Without You by For King and Country. I chose this song because when I am going through a bad experience in my life, such as a down moment with depression, I listen to this song. At times it will make me cry, other times it will make me smile, but it reminds me that I am not alone, and I can't try, and I can't try everything by myself without God to help me through it. My second song is Can You Hold Me by NF. I chose this song because it reminds me that I can't always do things by myself. One of the lyrics say, just wrap me in your arms, I don't want to be nowhere else. This lyric is very inspirational to me because it says to be wrapped in your arms. And there are days I wish I could be wrapped in God's arms, and days I feel like I am wrapped in His arms, getting comforted throughout the bad times, and the good times also. The final song I chose was Beloved by Jordan Feliz. I had started listening to this song because it says, you are loved. And when I was at Rise Fest this past year, I got to hear it live, and it really inspired me to listen to it more when I'm feeling bad. One of the lyrics says, you are essential, not accidental. This lyric is so powerful to me because it shows me that I am here not just because, but for a purpose, like all of you here today. Another one of the lyrics say, your heart is beating, alive and breathing, and there is a reason why. This verse showed me that there is a reason why this has happened, and that I shouldn't give up because of something bad. This is one of my favorite songs because it reminds me every day that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of me, just what God thinks of me.